Hey guys! Welcome to my channel. I hope y'all can hear me all right. I don't need no introduction. I'm getting straight to it. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. So I'm going to let y'all come in and get, settled in. Grab you a drink, grab you something bubbly. Let me know if my connection is good, my mic is good, there's no echo. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm not all like, okay, hold on. I don't know who that is calling me, but they're gonna have to wait for y'all. Okay, it doesn't look like I am chopping up. Okay. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Matthew Washington. Y'all, this is going to be something that is, hold on, let me see who this is right quick. Hold on. I don't know, that was weird. Anyway, I am going to get started. So this is the first episode of Bubbles with BTaylor. So right now, because I'm going to be talking about my testimony. Hey, Matthew Washington, thank you so much. Let me know if y'all can hear me all right. Hey, Lotus. I just want to make sure my mic is good because I just want to make sure my mic is good. Can y'all give me a thumbs up to make sure my mic is good? I'm going to be sipping on something bubbly today, but it's going to be dry. It's not going to be liquor for this episode because this is my testimony. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just had like a praise section where God just like, the Holy Spirit just took over me, y'all. Like, I'm going to get real personal with y'all. And I had to pray before I got on here because I really, really, really want y'all to understand what I've been going through for the past couple of months at this point, couple of weeks at this point. You know, everything on the outside, just because it looks good on the outside doesn't mean you're not going through things. And I was going through a spiritual warfare. So before I get started, because this is going to be very deep, this is going to be very, look at Doc already sponsoring. All right, shout out to Doc. He's sponsoring the show for the $49.99. Thank you so much with the arms up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll leave that up for right now until I pour my drink. So thank you for sponsoring the show. Hey, Tiana. Look, I prayed for whoever came in here is supposed to be here because when I tell y'all I was going through it and I'm just now getting out of it, I'm still currently going through stuff, but like the way I have so much peace about it right now, I want to share that peace. I want to share God's mercy that he's had on me. So I'm going to be pouring up this lime Italian mineral. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me see. I'm going to be pouring this up. This is going to be my sparkling drink for this episode. Episode 2, we're going to get right back into the, I'm going to, you know what, Doc, since you have the $49.99, what is your favorite bubbly drink? What is your favorite bubbly drink, Dalen? What is your favorite bubbly drink? I'll drink that for you on episode 2. I'll drink your favorite drink on episode 2. Whoever is sponsoring the show, I will buy your favorite drink and drink it for the next episode. Oh, crusty, extra salty. Uncle Ricky, that's a really interesting. I hope you're finding peace and joy. All right, so toast to this because this is going to get really emotional, and I really hope that I don't get too emotional. Okay, that's good for just like sparkling water. It's okay. Hey, Talisha. All right, guys. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get started because I don't want fear to come over me, because I'm gonna be real with y'all. I have not been vulnerable with you guys in a while because I was in a space, the manosphere space, where your vulnerability is used against you. But that's how I built my platform. That's how I built my audience. That's how I help people, is by being transparent that everything is not peaches and cream and perfect in what you go through. So I've been going through a very hard storm since, honestly, I've been going through a storm since the past year. A lot of you guys don't know I was suffering, still working through postpartum depression. I don't think that I really just said that out loud. And honestly, it probably wasn't a good space and a good idea to be in the manosphere space because I'm going through postpartum depression. But I took myself as a sacrifice to be like, well, if there's someone out there that's going through what I'm going through, like, let me be their voice. So there's been a lot of changes going on in my life, and I'm gonna say it started with just a separation thing because God just had to remove certain people out of my life for me to grow. And he just had to remove me from certain spaces, including the manosphere. Because let me tell you something that I do want to touch on. Probably I've been in therapy. So I had a therapist, and I actually stopped going to her because I started to feel worse after getting off the phone with her because it was just no one could save me from me other than God. Like the thoughts that were going through my head. So let's just get into it because I'm gonna just warn you guys, this is gonna be a very emotional live. Ooh. So just bear with me because y'all just don't know what I had to go through. Ooh, let's get it together, y'all. Okay. So back in April, that's when I just felt like those evil thoughts, people saying evil things to me, it was really starting to get to me. I started to question I know I'm not perfect. I know I've made mistakes, and this is me taking accountability for it, you know? And I was never proud of my decisions. Never. And one thing about me is I'm like, God, as many bad decisions I make, let me be a vessel to those to not make those same mistakes that I have made. But I also have grace and empathy for people who are also mothers, who are also single mothers, or whatever you call it, or a mother that's not married or had kids out of wedlock, or whatever it is. Sorry, y'all. I did not know I was gonna get emotional like this, so I'm so embarrassed. So, you know, I had the shame. I'm my worst critic, you know, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, I'm my worst critic. I'm probably my worst enemy because I will beat myself up more than anybody will. So just imagine somebody like me already beating myself up and, you know, beating myself up. And then I also have the people being in those spaces where somebody's telling you that you're broken and you're damaged goods and you're a bad mother and, you know, you have no purpose in life and you're unvaluable. Those things started to get to me. Ooh, those things really started to get to me because I started going through things, right? And it was like these thoughts were not my own thoughts. These thoughts were not mine. So it was one point where I literally had a mental breakdown. I was driving from work. I was going through stuff at work. I was going through stuff at home in my personal life. You know, I was really just going through it, and all that stuff started to catch up to me. And I really just had I just stopped talking to everybody. I started talking to everybody around me. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't talk to friends. I just only talked to my sister because she's you know, my best friend and my sister. Those are the only two people that I just really was confiding in. But it was one moment I was supposed to pick up my son. And I started having an anxiety attack driving, and I started shaking because I have anxiety really bad. That's something I always dealt with. And let me be real with y'all. Ever since, and I don't know if it's because I've been surrounded by death growing up. A lot of you guys don't know, my mom died. So I never really grew up with a mother. So I've always seen death. I lost a best friend before. She got hit by a car and was killed. So I lost a lot of people in my life. So I was used to losing people. So I would actually become accustomed to death. And I started to see death as a thing of like, well, does death sound that bad? Because life here sucks, growing up in like a very kind of abusive type of environment and then going to school and getting picked on. I always dealt with suicidal thoughts, and I never wanted to, but I always thought of like, well, if something ever happened to me, I don't think that I would be that. I'm not scared of it, until I had kids. Then I'm like, wow, like I actually have somebody to live for, and I have a purpose to live for, and my children is my purpose, and I was driving to work and all these thoughts started coming in my head, all these talking points and stupid shit coming through my head and telling me like, you're worthless, you're broken, you can't be fixed, you're damaged goods, your children are ruined because of you. Like they're better without you. And I was like, it was like such an out of body experience, right? It was such an out of body experience. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna look at the comments after. I just can't look at them right now. But it was such an out of body experience because these thoughts were just like, and I started shaking and I started thinking about just doing the worst things to myself. And I'm like, why? Why would I do that? Like, I don't want to, but I just had these thoughts, right? And I immediately called my son's father. Was like, I'm not picking them up. I don't know what's going on with me. Like, I'm literally having like a mental breakdown. And they need to stay with you because I need to get myself together. I'm not healthy right now. I'm not healthy to take care of any children. As I'm driving home, I started seeing visions of every bridge I passed up. I kept seeing myself jumping and I was like, why? And it was like haunting me because I didn't want to do that. And I'm like, now I get where some people, if you're not strong enough, it can get to you because it's such a spiritual attack. It's such a spiritual attack. I can't explain it. It's like I tried to pray, but it was like a wall up. It was like such a ugly wall. And it's like I couldn't even talk to God because I just had so much on my brain and head. And I couldn't even talk to God. Like I couldn't even feel his presence. Although I knew he was there, I just couldn't feel it. Like I just felt like I fucked up so much. I just didn't see any point of what purpose do I have left. Like it just made me feel like that. And obviously, like I just was like, I need to separate myself. Yeah, those are my demons. I needed to separate myself and just be to myself. And everybody, I just called my grandmother. I'm just praying grandmother. And I just said, just pray for me because I don't know what's going on, but I'm being spiritually attacked. I'm having thoughts that are not my thoughts. And it's weighing on me heavy. And I don't even like the fact that these are even in my thoughts. So I'm silently going through these pain and everything. Thank you, Daryl. Daryl's a new member to my channel, so thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so that happened, right? Then Easter weekend comes. It's April. I'm just on survival mode. I'm literally on survival mode. I'm just make it through the day, feed yourself, barely feeding myself, by the way. And just make it through the day. That's all I'm saying is just make it through the day. Then it was just so much stuff happening. And I can't even think back because I feel like my brain is trying to protect me from some of the stuff that I was going through. But I was going through so much, like where, let's start with, I'm just gonna be transparent with y'all. I don't care if y'all like think it's gross, but obviously I was staying in an apartment with my family, and obviously it's me, and so probably I'm going through what I'm going through, right? And something wakes me up at 1:00 in the morning, and I see something across my pillow, and I'm like, "What the heck is that?" So I kill it, and I'm like, nah, there's no way. There's no way. No way. There's no way. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't traveled. I haven't bought anything new. I stay in a very nice, complex area. There's no way. That's not a bed bug. That's not a bed bug. Mind you, I'm going through what I'm going through. 2 days later, my mentor calls me, and I just know that was God. I know that was God because she called me and told me, your babies were meant to be here. Don't let nobody put that in your head. Like, God opened your womb and gave you a child, and they're supposed to don't ever question their existence. Don't ever, ever question their existence. And I needed that. And because they give me so many reasons to just keep going when things get tough, right? No, it's not better than a roach. Let me explain to you. It ain't better than a roach. Let me explain to you. So then after I got off the phone with my mentor, I'm up at 3:00 in the morning. And next thing you know, I see 2 more bugs run. And I'm like, ah! And I scream. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I kill them. And they're bed bugs. They're fucking bed bugs. And I'm sorry for cursing, y'all. It just makes me so mad when I talk about them. Because let me tone down the cursing. God's still working on me. Okay. So for those that's heavy religious, please bear with me. So I'm like, oh my God. So I don't know any clue about bed bugs. Never had them before. I'm a very clean person, very clean person. So I just grab everything off my bed, throw it in a washer. Now I'm starting to do my research. What are these things? Where they come from? How do you get rid of them? So I start getting bleach, and I'm spraying bleach everywhere. Thinking that I don't see any more on my mattress. I'm checking under the mattress. I'm just spraying, right? And y'all, when I talk about these things, these are just I sleep on my couch. I wake up the next morning. Mind you, it's Easter weekend. Easter weekend for me. Easter weekend for me is spending time with family and being with my kids. And I wasn't doing any of that. I was by myself. For Easter weekend. So that hurt me as well. That really, 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 really hurt me really bad. And I woke up the next morning. Something told me, not only do you vacuum up, check your mattress. I'm like, okay, I checked my mattress and there's nothing there. I think they're all gone. I don't know how bed bugs work. I lifted up my box spring, and there's a bunch of them on the box spring. And I just get the spraying bleach everywhere, right? And I'm like, oh my God. I call my family, and they're like, throw it away. Throw everything away. Throw it away before it spreads. And I'm like, okay. Run to Home Depot. I get this box mattress spring cover. I put it on. I'm dragging out a box spring and a mattress by myself to the dumpster. And I was struggling. I'm only 5'6". I'm struggling. I'm pulling it out. I'm sweating. It's hot outside, but I felt so liberated at that moment because I'm really gaining the strength to do this. It just, for me, that felt liberating at that moment. And so I took all of that and I threw away my entire bed, from the baseboard to the headboard to everything. And I started spraying bleach everywhere and vacuumed up. I go to my apartments. They're not showing. They're like, oh, are you going to resign? Mind you, my lease is up. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed a big part. So before I even found one bed bug, right? God been pushing me to get a house. God's been saying to get a house. He's been speaking through my oldest child to say, you need a house. And I'm like, no, that's too much for me. No, but I was already paying about a certain amount of what some houses cost. But I was like, no, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I thought that was too big for me, right? I thought that was too big for me. And I was like, I don't want to buy yet, but maybe I can get practice by renting a house. And so when the whole thing happened where I found out it's just me, I was really like, well, maybe I'll just sign a 6 months and give myself time to really just look for the house that I really want. That's when the bed bugs popped up. I swear to you not. I said I was going to re-sign my lease. And my lease is up in a month, in an exact month. And boom, the bed bugs come out of nowhere. I didn't even know I had them. So that was also, I felt like that was also God pushing me out. He was having to force me to do what he wanted me to do. And I couldn't resist, because one thing, I was going through things, and I started laughing because I was like, man, this is just funny at this point. Like, this is just funny. And it became unfunny when I was sleeping on my couch. So I'm sleeping on my couch. I got a lot of pride, y'all. I got a lot of pride. I don't like handouts, and I don't like help. I don't like receiving help. I like figuring it out by myself. I got myself in a mess. I want to get myself out of it. I don't like when people help me. And I know that's something that's probably not good, because it's okay to help people. But for some reason, I was like, no, I want to sleep on the couch. I'm thinking I'm good. I'm thinking like, okay, the mattress is gone, the bed is gone, it's good. Like, maybe y'all. So I let the apartments know they're taking their time and dragging their feet to come and, fumigate, right, or exterminate, right, and they're like telling me you're gonna have to pay for it because you probably bought them. And I was like, I haven't been anywhere. Why would I buy them? Like, what? How did I buy them here? Like, buy them here. How did I get them here? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You would have to travel somewhere. I haven't been anywhere. So they try to blame it on me. Come to find out, because I knew people moved in above me and people moved out next to me. And I just had this feeling like, nah, it has something to do about this building. Why I come to find out, there's several more people with bed bugs in that exact building. So there's an infestation in the building. So it didn't matter if I got my stuff exterminated. It didn't matter how hard I tried. The whole entire building had bed bugs. The whole building. And I'm like, they're lying to me, making it seem like it's me. So I start talking to other residents, and they're like, no, we're breaking our lease. Mind you, so I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm thinking I'm safe because I'm on the couch. But mind you, I can't sleep at night because I'm up all night, paranoid I'm getting bit up by these vampire bugs. Okay. So my son, mind you, my kids are not with me because they're with their dads, because I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, and I want them in a better environment because mommy's not obviously in a good environment right now. So finally, my oldest son, his dad's like, hey, I'll give you an air mattress. He can sleep with you for tonight because I got a da-da-da. I'm like, okay, cool. I got basically woken up. I don't know how. I just randomly woke up in the middle of the night, and I saw a bed bug on the couch. Didn't matter how much I sprayed. They travel, furniture, mattress, even people. I haven't went anywhere other than work and home. I got up at 3:00 in the morning, and I got my child, and I drove him to his father's house. And I came back, and I sprayed down the place again and just tried to lay down and try to deal with it. And I really just started calling people and telling them what was going on. And my sister-in-law, if that makes sense, she lives near my job. So she was like, hey, like, I live in a townhome by myself. Like, you can come stay here. And I'm like, okay, I'll stay on your couch. Like, let me just make sure I don't bring anything with me. So I'm buying new clothes. I'm getting everything, basically almost everything new, that if I wash it, I had to wash it, just make sure I'm not transferring anything out. And so I'm staying on somebody. I basically feel homeless. So then it gets worse, y'all. It gets worse. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to look for a new place. But mind you, my driver's license expired. Didn't know, forgot about it because I was going through what I was going through, forgot about my driver's license being expired. I set an appointment. The only appointment I can get is an appointment a whole week out, a week later. I have to go to DPS. So then I'm like, okay, let me open this letter that I had got about my driver's license. The night before I gotta go get my driver's license, someone told me to open that letter. I open the letter. It says you cannot renew your driver's license because you have 3 patients from 2015 when I was in college. I was driving around, a broke college student driving around a Kia, and my engine light was on. And my tags was expired for like a couple of days. And I ended up getting tickets for it that I forgot about. And I'm like, I literally probably cursed at God at that point. I felt like, why? Why would you see what I'm going through? Like, why? Like, why is it one thing after another? Like, I can't catch a break. Like, I'm already going through a separation. I got bed bugs. I can't even find a new place to go because my driver's license expired. And now all of a sudden some goddamn citations from 2015 pop up and boom. I'm like, why? That is on me. Okay, I understand. I wasn't being responsible and taking care of my stuff. I understand, but it was like the timing of it, right? The timing of it was like, I understand. That's on me. But in between that time, like I forgot about it. So now I like leave work, go to the court and handle it that day. And I'm like, what do I need to do? The judge is being such an asshole to me. He was being so mean. And I'm like, dude, this is traffic court. Like, this is not nothing serious. Like, why are you being so mean? He's like, well, of course you don't remember it because it was 8 years ago. And he was just being so mean. He was just being so mean to me. And I was dead about to cry. And went to the prosecutor. The prosecutor's like, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, these are old. I'm gonna dismiss 2 out of 3, and you can pay the $25 one. And I'm like, okay, cool. Got that solved, got that done. Went to DPS. Like, yes, finally, I could start applying for places. Right? I go to DPS. I get there at my appointment time. They tell me, I'm sorry, you have to wait 5 days for it to come off of your record thing so you can get your driver's license, and we got to reschedule you a week out again. Mind you, my lease is up in 3 weeks. I'm living on a couch. I'm paying rent at a place that I'm not even living at and staying at, and I have nowhere to go, and I have 3 weeks to find a place, and I have 3 weeks to move out and find a place and go. You know how much pressure that is that I haven't even started packing because I don't know what to pack. I had to throw out my furniture and couch and everything because those little nasty things invaded my entire living space. And I have 3 weeks. So really, I'm only going to have 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I got to get my driver's license, and I got to wait on my driver's license, which takes another 2 weeks. I literally broke down in DPS and I just started crying because it was just like, it was too much. And you know what? As much as people give Black women flack, it was Black women that ran to me. And I get emotional about this because I really do love Black women. I really do. I know we have our faults. I know we have our flaws. But I love Black women because they saw my pain and it was like they came to me and was like, you know what, we got you. I just started crying. I couldn't hold it together anymore because it was just so much happening. And these women didn't know me from nothing. They could have just stood there and didn't care or nothing, but they wrapped their arms around me and said, what can we do to help you? Because we understand. I understand. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. And they scheduled me out. They were trying to find solutions for me. And it was just the fact that they were doing whatever they could do in that moment, And that's in that moment, I just felt a sense of love. Like, I don't like how people just shit on Black women because they're there. Anytime that I needed to get picked up off the floor, they're there to pick you up off the floor. And so they really do help you. And we have our flaws, but like, we're so beautiful. And I just want to say that thank you to those ladies God really used y'all at that time, because I swear I was about to break down and just pass out at the DPS office, because I was like, this is too much. This is too much. It's weighing on me. And on top of that, I got to work every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, basically. And I haven't had my kids with me. Like, I miss my babies, but they're in good hands. They're with their dads, you know. But it's like I can't even really, you know. So sorry, y'all. I'm just emotional because this is my first time really just talking about this. But everybody saw what I was going through. My family and friends saw what I was going through. And even one of my son's father, like, grabbed my hand and just prayed. We just prayed because it was just so much going on. It was so bad. And so finally, fast forward, got my ID, started applying for houses. I was like, you know what? Let me just throw it out there. Let me just apply for a house. Let me apply for a house. Apply for houses. And, well, I went to go see the houses. No, not in my budget. No. Then I saw this one house. I was like, wow, like, it's so beautiful inside. It's so much light. Because I deal with depression and anxiety, I need a lot of light in my home. I need a lot of windows. I need a lot of space. I need a lot of light. I'm big on that. I cannot live nowhere in a dark space because it's not going to help me. I FaceTime my oldest son and I'm like, oh my God, do you like this house? And he's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful, Mommy. Look at the backyard. It's a big backyard, blah, 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 blah. Like, such a nice neighborhood. It's so safe in here and everything. And I'm like, yeah. And then, like, as we're going towards the back rooms, my realtor goes, oh my God, it's a 4-bedroom. I'm like, a 4-bedroom? And my son's on the phone like, oh my God, Mommy, there's a lot of rooms. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a 4-bedroom house? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, we got to apply for this 2-night, 2-day. I got to apply. Mind you, this house was the only house I applied for, because the other houses were not doing it. And I felt it in my spirit. God kept telling me, don't settle. Don't matter what it looked like. I know you're only a week, 2 weeks until you have to leave up out of that apartment. And I know that you're not packed up. You have nowhere to go, but I need you to trust me. And I was like, all right, God, like, okay. So then I applied for it. Then next thing you know, the apartment people started to try to be petty and try to tell the real estate people, like, oh, she had a trash can violation one time out of the years I've been staying there. Like, they was just trying to say stuff to make me not get the place. And they bypassed it, but it was up to the landlord to approve me. And I started to feel a sense of, like, biasness, because he said he wanted more people, not just my income. He wanted, like, and I was like, great. Like, he probably see me with 2 kids and like, no, I don't want to approve her. I don't want to approve her because I don't want that in my house. Like, I want, like, probably like a 2 couple, whatever. And I felt sad. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, I really had my heart set on this. And I just got to praying. Like, I just said, you know what? I pulled out my book of affirmations and I wrote down, no, I didn't want no co-signer. Let me tell you something. I am very prideful. If I got to do it by myself, I got to do it. Like, I got myself into this mess. I wanted to do it. And so I don't even think you can co-sign on like a house, but I end up, I have great rental history, by the way. But I end up writing in my book, like, thank you, God, for this house. Thank you for all these rooms. Thank you for my YouTube studio, for that 4th bedroom. Thank you, God, for, like, I just started writing it as I had it. I wrote it as if I already had it. I wrote it that God already had it worked out for me. And I didn't even know if it was going to be this house. I just had it like, y'all, like, like, I haven't even got there yet. So they basically said they're going to hold off and see if somebody else better applies. I felt discouraged and I went into that apartment because I had to get some stuff. And I was listening to I Trust You I Trust You by James Fortune. And I started listening to it, and he was like really speaking to me. And I wish I could play it without getting copyrighted, y'all. But if y'all don't know that song and y'all going through a storm, please play it, because it's like it was telling exactly what I was going through. And I just had this beautiful breakthrough, y'all. I grew up in a very like religious household, and I seen people in church have the Holy Spirit take over them. And I never got it. I thought when they did that, when the Holy Spirit took over them, that was just them. And when I tell you the Holy Spirit took over me in that apartment, and I couldn't stop yelling, "Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Father God. Thank you, Lord." And I couldn't stop saying it over and over and over and over again. I didn't have no control over my body. And some people would say, "Ooh, she having a breakdown." No, I was having a breakthrough. I was having a breakthrough. And I was breaking through what I was going through. And I did it for like, I don't even know, like 30 minutes straight. 30 minutes straight. I did it. I'm calling out for God. I'm thanking Him. I'm thanking Him in the midst of my pain, in the midst of my worries, in the midst of my fear, in the midst of my doubt, in the midst of my storm, when everything is going bad. I just couldn't stop thanking God. And I didn't even know what I was thanking Him for. I just knew I had a reason to thank Him. And I couldn't stop doing it but 30 minutes straight. And I had a breakthrough. And it was so beautiful. And every anxiety that was attacking me, every depression, every deep demonic thoughts were gone. They're gone. Ooh. I'm sorry, y'all. I never felt that type of presence from God. Ever. I never felt that type of presence from God. I'm sorry that I'm crying on camera, because I never thought I'd be that person to just cry on camera. But when I tell you, God is so real. I was not that person to really just believe like that. Like, I knew that God was real. I was taught that He was real. Like, I know that He did things in my life that made Him real. But when I'm telling you, when I went through this right here, that would break somebody down, I just couldn't stop thanking Him. And in that moment, I just felt a peace. This peace that I've been needing for so long. I didn't have no peace, y'all. Like, I didn't have no peace at all inside of me. And peace just took over. And then, like, when that happened, everything just started, like, falling into place. And even when I would go see a house and it wouldn't work out, or somebody took that house and it was gone, I just said, "Thank you, God. Like, thank you. Like, I know it's going to work out. I only got a week and a half left to move out of here. I don't got no place to stay. I'm staying on somebody's couch right now. But I just thank you, God. I just thank you so much." And what's crazy is I haven't been posting on my YouTube channel. I'll be quite frank with y'all. I have not been posting on my YouTube channel because I haven't had a confidence to do it. I was comparing myself to other YouTubers and feeling behind, and I fell off, and then I felt like embarrassed about certain things and felt like, who am I? I'm not qualified. And God calls on the unqualified. Like, don't let nobody tell you that because you're not perfect and you didn't do it the perfect way, that you are not called. God, one thing about Jesus is, if you actually read the Bible, He didn't hang out with the righteous ones. He hung out with the sinners. He hung out with the sinners. So as that's going on, right? Next thing you know, I finally let go of something. I was holding on to something so bad. I was holding on to something, and I would have fear of letting it go because the fear was so deafening. The fear was so deafening, I couldn't let it go. And I finally let it go. I cut off whoever I needed to cut off, and I finally let it go. Do you know, when I let that go, 3 minutes later, my realtor calls me and go, "You just got approved." He just approved it. I'm like, all I had to do was let go and let God. Let go and let God. God approved. So I got a house. I got a YouTube studio. I got a 4-bedroom. I got a big backyard. I got a beautiful living room. I got a beautiful French doors. I got windows. I got lights. I got a huge bedroom. I got a huge garage. God is so good. He is so good. And everything just started falling into place. And although I'm going to have my challenges, and I know that I'm going to be judged, I know that, I'm going to probably be spiritually attacked because I'm sharing my testimony. And I even had a praise session before I got on because I'm like, all right, God, like I just want to share like your blessings, because I know I'm not the only one that's going through something. And like a lot of people that would have broke them, because I'm not telling y'all everything, because just for a privacy thing. But when I tell you your girl was going through some things, I was going through a spiritual warfare so bad. And the fact that I knew God was going to give me a YouTube studio. He was going to give me the house. I had to be basically delusional in my faith. A lot of people say have faith of a mustard seed, right? Have faith of a mustard seed. And I didn't have a mustard seed. I didn't have nothing in my hand. So what did I do? I pretended that a mustard seed was in my hand. I started to become delusional that I already had it. That I already had it in place, and he already blessed me with it. I literally only had 2 weeks to find a place to live. And I was staying on somebody else's couch, waiting, because I knew he was going to come through when it was looking bad. Even when people was telling me, I think you need to start looking for apartments because it don't seem like it's going to happen. People was speaking to me, trying to tell me, I think you needed to, thank you, Inspired by Jazz. Thank you. And they were like, you don't need to apply for that. Maybe you just wait for it. And, just get an apartment. And I said, no, I'm trusting that God is going to give me a house because that's what he told me. He's testing my faith that I have 2 weeks. Excuse me. Sorry. I have 2 weeks. I have literally a week and a half, basically, to find somewhere to live, to put my stuff that I was able to salvage, where am I going to put it? And my home is coming together very nicely. And I was able to do it by myself. Ain't nobody handed me no money. Ain't nobody did anything, like he wanted me. Even the people that were offering, it's like the people that were offering, God, like I had to either cut them off or God cut them off for me. He wanted me to fully trust on him. Ever since then, like it don't matter what I'm going through. And mind you, what's crazy is when I went back to my apartment, every time I went back to my apartment, taking things out, I kept meeting residents who had bed bugs, who were breaking their lease and leaving. And I had to get them for documents because the apartment was trying to lie and say that I was the only one, but it was like multiple people in the complex having them. Do you know that a neighbor that I didn't get along with for the longest, I actually ran into her and spoke to her and warned her, and she had bites all over her and didn't know where the bites was coming from, and I told her about the bed bugs. Do you know what's crazy is that she's a young girl, she's 22 years old, and she didn't even know she was prophesying to me. She said, I just feel like every time I saw you, you were always on go. Like life just happened and never stopped. You just never stopped. You just always just on the go. And mind you, me and this girl got into it like before. And I'm talking to her. And she goes, can I hug you? And I said, yes. And I hugged her. And something just told me, pray for her as you're hugging her. And I just opened up my heart and just in that moment, as I was holding her, I was praying for her, and she goes, "Ooh, oh my God, like, girl, I could feel your energy." And I go, "Girl, I was praying for you. You felt that?" And she was like, "Oh my God." Well, I grabbed this girl hand and started praying for her. I ain't never prayed for nobody. I don't even know how to start, but I just said what I needed to say and let God lead me. And I'm just like, there's no peace. And people just want to sit here and condemn, like, make it seem like, let me tell you something about God. God is a loving God. Don't let nobody try to tell you that, you can't go to him. You're a leftover. Don't let nobody try to tell you who God is. God gonna show you who he is. Your relationship with God has nothing to do with other people. We came here as sinners. He knows we're gonna sin. He knows we're gonna stray. But guess what? He's always gonna lead us back to him. Whatever greater power it is a greater power. And it's just like people say manifestation. It is manifestation. Prayer is manifestation. Prayer is manifestation. God forgives those that he knew that was gonna betray him. Who is it? Y'all gonna have to help me with the Bible because I said it earlier today. He knew he was going to deny him 3 times. Who was that? It is a personal relationship with God. I'm gonna go in the comments with y'all. Who is it that denied Jesus 3 times? Was it oh my God, what was his name? Do y'all know? Look, I'm a baby Christian. Was it Paul? He knew that. Was it Paul? No, not Judas. Judas was the one that betrayed him. But he did. Well, he knew that Judas was going to betray him, and he still broke bread with him. He still broke bread with him. I think it was Peter. Yes, Peter. Thank you, Shael. Thank you, Black Lexicon. Sorry, Black Lexicon. Yeah, Peter. He knew. Thank you, Sheena. Peter. Tabitha. Thank you. You said it's not Judas, y'all. Yeah, Peter. Peter denied him 3 times, and he forgave him after. He didn't even want to go to Jesus because he was so scared that he denied him and denied all his miracles that he's done because he was scared and in fear. And God still loved him and forgave him. He even forgave Judas. So don't think that because you didn't do things perfectly. Like, I think that I can still be used by God. And I still am because I'm obviously using this platform in a direction that needs to go. So every lesson that I talk about now, like, even I just want to like dress differently. I feel differently. I speak differently. Like, when his presence is in you, there's just a peace, and like, you got to protect your space. Let me just say that, because I went on a podcast trying to, support my friend, and I was listening to some of these men talk, and I saw it from like a spiritual aspect. They don't even know that they're being used demonically. They don't even know that they're being used to spread hate and they're being used to spread negativity, and they call it accountability. But let me tell you something. If you're not helping that person, feeding that person, there on the day-to-day to support that person, who are you to hold anybody accountable? You're just a nobody on the internet, okay? Who are you to sit here and want to causing division and divide and negativity and lowering people's self-esteem because your self-esteem is low? So protect your energy, men and women, wherever you go. Because a lot of these men and women are being used to create division and chaos. That's why when you false teachings, false prophet, yes, anybody who claims that they're next to God and they're God and that they're better than you, and somebody with a problem. Because let me tell you something. Every person that crossed me, God dealt with them. God dealt with them, and I know it, and I believe it, and I don't wish no bad on nobody. But you got to come from a place of love, understanding, and empathy, because God is love, and it says it in the Bible. So if you over there feeling like, bring back shame, who are you to shame nobody? Didn't Jesus teach us that? Like, write your name in the sand. He who has never sinned, throw the first stone. So if you are perfect, how is your spirit life? Like everything, because a lot of people want to make it seem like they're perfect because the outside looks good. But what about the inside? What that look like? Can you sleep at night? Do you get good rest? Are you really talking to God? Are you really happy? Or are you distracting yourself? Are you indulged into your work? Or are you indulged into YouTube? Are you really sitting with God? Are you really building a relationship? Because if you know God, God is love. And people who really got God in them, people are all attracted to them. They feel safe with them. They feel safe and secure with them. And when they speak to people, they allow God to speak through them. They do. Exactly. A lot of hypocrisy. Yeah, we all need a refresher on the Bible. My grandmother, she had gave me Jesus Callings, A Woman's Prayer. Let's see, God's Promise for Every Need. Look, I got my Bibles on deck, girl. We're gonna be reading. The prayer of spirit. Let me tell y'all something too. I asked God to, when I was talking about Derek Jackson's wife, I let God lead me. I didn't think about no views. I just did it with passion when I was talking about her, because what I was saying was true. And I let God speak through me as he was talking, right? Through me. I was saying what I was saying. And I posted that video. Do you know that video is almost at 80,000 views? Because he sent who he needed to send. And it blew up. We should start a book club. Maybe that's what we should do on my membership. I do have a membership, y'all. If y'all want to join my membership, I think it's like $4.99. Y'all pay more than that at Starbucks. Y'all can give me $4.99 a month. I want to start something with my membership where maybe we do a book club and a prayer club. Maybe we could meet like once a month online and, kind of like talk to each other about certain things, encourage each other where it's a little bit more personal. If you are going through things, if I'm going through something, I can be a little bit more transparent with y'all. Like I do have the membership. So if y'all do want to sign up for that, that would be great. I can start that with y'all. Like that would be something I would love to do. If you have a book in mind, please let me know. Doc is a sponsor of the show with his $49.99. So whatever his favorite drink is, I'm gonna drink it for the next episode. I have episode 2, where I'm gonna, I'm gonna post probably with these bubbles with BTaylor. My bubbles and ran out, but bubbles with BTaylor, twice a month. I want to go live with you guys and talk about certain things. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. Let me see. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. If you want to come up and say anything, if you want to come up and share a testimony or say anything, I do want to just go ahead and open up the chat for y'all if y'all do want to come up. But I just wanted to share my testimony because let me tell you, while I was going through that, it was people also coming against me. It was people and enemies coming against me and wishing, like, moving in the background and starting up stuff. And I didn't even know about it. And God protected me from it. Next thing you know, I'm hearing about it. And that person that tried to stir up something against me was the one to get in trouble about it. So I'm like, look how God just protects you from things that you didn't even know. Okay, all right. But it gotta be something bubbly. It gotta be something bubbly. So But yeah, and y'all also, you know what? And also for those who's watching and those who's, shy and don't want to share their testimony, comment after this video. And I want to pin the best uplifting comment, because there's people that's going to be playing this and really need this, and they probably going to need to see your word, and you could be used as well. Hey, big bad bull, hi. And you know what, I was scared of coming on here because I was like, oh my god, they're just going to use this to like make fun of me and laugh at me and clip me up, but I don't care. I pray for those people too. So I'm not worried about it. Hey, can you give me a thumbs up? You don't have to show your face on camera, but can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, cool. All right. You can go back off camera. Okay. Hey. Okay, what's
Hello.
your name? Because I don't know if I want to call you old salty extra crusty Rico.
Call me all of them. Call me all
Okay.
of them. I am old, I'm salty, and I'm crusty. Uh, I'm a 58-year-old black man, married man, and Daryl Long knows me. I've been following you. I think I spoke to you before.
Okay.
I spoke to. I think I spoke to you. I don't know if it was on Yanni or some other channel. And basically, what I was telling you was that I felt like you give spaces validation that don't deserve you.
Mm.
So I've been listening to your testimony and your story. And let me just say this for all transparency. I am as unreligious as one can become.
Okay.
I just am. I don't have any problem with religious people. That's just not my cup of tea. So I rock with it. My mom, my grandparents, they're that. That's just not me. But I like what you were saying. Congratulations on you moving into your house.
Thank you.
I think that is important that we celebrate that is an accomplishment.
Thank
And I was just listening to you, and it was bothering me hearing you feel like, for whatever reason, people and spaces you've been in made you feel like you were less than. As I said, I'm a 58-year-old man. You remind me of one of I got daughters and granddaughters, so I don't ever want to see a young black woman feel the way that you feel, having to have went through what you went through. I think your experience in the manosphere space, you shouldn't even have been. No, I don't want you to cry. I want you to be strong, because
Yeah.
I build my daughters to be strong.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, BTaylor. We are all broken. I'm broken. And those men that you speak to, they are broken too. But that's our fucking superpower, because I'm broken and I still work. And I want you to understand
Thank you.
that being broken is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
We as black people live in this world, live in America, live in this community. It's not designed for us, but yet we still thrive. And to be broken and work in spite of all the obstacles, that's a fucking superpower.
Thank you.
Pass that on to your children, as I try to pass it on to mine. That, hey, when they beat you down, when they one leg, but goddamn it, I still walk, I still fly, I still shine. That's your superpower. Don't let them take it away from you. And when I just heard you, I just was compelled to come up to say that stay out of those spaces. Those spaces don't mean you well. You know that. I,
Oh,
I
you have to make me cry.
I no, I just get I get angry. I'll come to your channel and other spaces channels to learn, and then I'm like, why y'all even listening to these fools? I don't listen to them. So I'm coming to you for you to teach me, because I think that, being of an older generation, I learned as much as I did, but I still think that there's more for me to learn. And I'm like, don't let them gaslight you. Don't let them confuse you. Don't let them convince you. They need you. So I'm looking at those spaces start to atrophy, grow smaller, because they don't they they're just not doing anything for us.
Yeah.
Um, And I'm just here to say I applaud you. Continue to grow in the space that you're in. And it's not that you sisters are perfect. I tell everybody, no, y'all ain't perfect, but neither are we. We're all broken.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that keep doing you, keep doing what you're doing for your kids. It's okay. We all fall. We are all broken, but yet we still work.
Yes.
And that's the beauty and the joy. And I'll shut up with that.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that because, a lot of people say, if you don't like it, turn it off, leave. But it actually becomes a little addicting because you think about it, some people in those spaces, it's like, why do you keep going back? Like, why do you keep coming there? But it's just like, I couldn't even hear my own voice, God's voice, because it was so infiltrated with all these men. And then I started seeing these men for what they were. They were just broken men. They were looking for validation that they never got from their mom growing up. They're angry, they're upset, and they're like, I was an easy punching bag for a lot of them because I'm not a single mom. I don't want to claim that title because I'm not a single mom. I have my children's fathers in their life. Like, I'm just a mother that's single and not married. I
But
work very hard. I provide for my children. I was able to get a house by myself, a nice house in a nice neighborhood. Like, I'm doing really well for myself and I have help. And the men that I had kids with genuinely loved me and they care about me. But, I don't need to explain myself to them of what my situation is. Like,
okay, but can I ask you a question? Because the very thing that you just said, which it so infuriates me, right? It's like, because literally they say single mother and you feel the need, not you, but like, don't validate that. You don't have to validate their insult.
yeah.
It's they say it as an insult. I'm the product of a single mother. I
Mm,
love being a product. It's not what I wish for, but
right.
again, I was broken, but I work. I'm fine being the product of a single mother. They demonize and disparage stepfathers. I've been a stepfather twice. I love being a stepfather. I love it. Literally to the point that my 21-year-old stepdaughter calls me her bonus dad. And
Wow.
I fucking cry when I hear that. Because I'm like, you men will never have the joy of having another person's child love you as much as they love their own.
Yeah.
You don't know. So when I hear men say, so I'm like, I'm always like fighting stepfathers and single mothers. Don't validate their insult. If they choose it as an insult, let that be their ignorance.
Yeah.
Don't go, oh, well, no, forget it. I don't care. That's my superpower. Fuck you. I always tell them, you don't have the shoulders to be a stepfather. All men aren't built this strong. I get it. You too weak to be one. I
Yeah.
get it. I can do this shit in my sleep all day. I
Yeah.
get it. You just ain't made for this.
Yeah.
That's my superpower. So you're not going to sit there and shame me for being that. Don't let them shame you for being a single mother.
Right.
That's your superpower. Look, when all else failed, I didn't crumble and I did not fall.
Yeah.
I stood up and I thrived. So what? So be it. And that's what I hate about these spaces. We do it, and it probably infuriates me the most because they criticize young black men not having father figures, but yet you're telling men not to be father figures.
Yep.
I'm like, I can't. I,
Yeah.
mm.
They say that those kids are, like my kids have even been called bastards online, and they were like, well, that's the word for it, and they try to excuse it, and it's just like, okay, well, that's like someone of a different race still calling you the N-word because they once used that to refer to black people. So is that still appropriate?
Yeah.
Is that still like, so why would you think it's okay to call someone else's children's that, you know?
And
So
I just literally went to, and I don't, I have five black male sons, unambiguously black, that I raised. I don't call them stepchildren. They're my sons. But I just went to my son's graduation from University of Columbia, and he just got his master's degree.
Wow.
Just like I'm like, and he's like, it's always been dad. Antoine, it's like, what is wrong with you people? I don't get. To me, it's such a foreign concept of people, and it just something. Maybe it's because having been raised by a single mother, and I also have been a single father, so that's why I have a very special place in my heart for single mothers. I've been a single father who ex-wife, because I was married to her, left and left my two small children that I raised alone.
Wow. Wow.
So I have that lived experience. And I don't mean at 12 and 13. I mean 2 and 3. So I always tell men, I'm like, man, fuck that shit about what you're talking about. Raise a 2-year-old and then talk to me.
Right.
Here my boy go. Here my guy go, right? You brought him up, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, Unc? How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah.
Lady Brittany.
And this guy give me a hard time. I'm always in trouble with him, but I always tell him, this is our kinship. While I'm like, I can't leave him alone because that soul experience is so unique to such a small percentage of Black men that I don't care how troubled he may be. That's the bond that I tell everybody, motherfucker, if you ain't done what I done and what he done, get out of my face, because it's hard.
Yeah.
We love our children, but it's not easy. And you know it. You're a single mom.
I don't even like that title because I feel like I'm not. Like I have I feel like that stigma, right? Like
there's no stigma. No,
it's
no,
a stigma
no.
Well, my mentor told me to stop referring myself as that because she's like, you're not that. Like, because that when you say that, right, it's a stereotype that comes with it that I was never with my children's father, or I just
who cares? You're a superhero. You're a mom. You're a superhero. Who cares? Because here's the thing, and I'm going to say this, BTaylor, and I'll stop. Because you could not have had children and still chose a bad mate. There are plenty of people who get married, get divorced, and don't have children. What's the difference between them and the person with children? The fact of the matter is, if we have children, we then must have to go on in spite of the failed relationship. As opposed to if you were with your children's father and didn't have children, you could go out and pretend like that shit never happened. Because there's nothing, there's no after effect. So basically, when I broke up with my first wife, she was gone, but hey, hell, we had children. There was some sort of after effect that I couldn't walk away from. And that's where your superpower got to kick in. And you got to say, I have to father or mother these children because they didn't ask for this shit. And I got to make this shit work. Yeah. Don't let anyone shame you for that. That's what I don't want to see. You, Mr. Long, and I ain't do it. My kids are grown. Fuck them.
Okay.
But you know, Rico, I was gonna say too, BTaylor, and thank you for having me on the show. Rico, you was around when Leia was a little bit younger. You've known me for literally that long when she was a newborn.
Yes, sir.
And you was around when Christiana had to, go to the schizophrenic hospital, all this different stuff. Mm-hmm. So for those months, I was alone. Me and my baby, I was in East Lansing. My people all the way down in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So when BTaylor, I know how it feels for it's a tiny bit of a moment to have your children in the house, not have somebody actually there. I'm telling you, it was the hardest moment. No cap. I'm not over exaggerating. Right? Like, and not to compare it to the streets or being in jail. I would do any of that 10 times over again than having to be with my baby alone. And I told you this too, Rico. I didn't know about my Yale. I didn't know about Cantu. I didn't know about none of that. I thought that I was supposed to wash my baby hair every day. Didn't know I'm drying her hair out. Right? It was so many different things I didn't know. So I can only imagine what you're going through, sis, being a mom, working every day. You said you work till morning, to the evening.
Mm-hmm.
You feel
And
me?
then I do YouTube, and then I'm a mom, and then I cook, and you know,
And
Well,
then you join other panels. Then you got people making reaction videos. So
yeah.
you deal with a lot.
and BTaylor, I'll tell you what's funny, right? And I think that a lot of, in particular, what bothers me for these so-called dads, right? Unlike myself and Mr. Long, who are single fathers raising children and at an early age. And I know he has his baby girl. That princess is so young and so beautiful. But at that age, and I tell guys like, man, don't tell me, oh, give me the kids. I'm like, no, fuck that. They're not 15.
Wait,
They
let's
are
calm down
fucking
with the
6 months.
cursing. Wait,
Right.
we still sanctified over here just a little bit.
Oh,
Can
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But
She
what I
not a
was
demon
saying
like us.
was,
She's not a demon.
what I'm saying is, what bothers me is, I particularly remember, I think the most traumatic experience to me as a single father was I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they both caught chicken pox.
Mm.
Have you ever had a child? Now, maybe, maybe it's almost cured, but chicken pox, your children break out with bumps and rashes from head to toe, front and back, completely covering their body.
Yep.
And I had a 2 and a 4-year-old running fevers, looking like raspberries.
Woo.
And I'm having to give them oatmeal baths, calamine lotion. They would not stop crying. I'm crying. And as a single parent, that is traumatic to you as the
traumatic.
adult, because your kids are running a fever of 107, and they're like, basically, you got to give them medicine, you got to bathe them, you got to wait for the
that's a hospital time.
No, but literally, I've taken them to the hospital, and they send you home with them, because back then, ain't no Obamacare, ain't no literally. And let me tell you the truth, BTaylor, I was going to the grocery store because I was working a minimum wage job. So I'm gonna tell you about the working poor. I was working 40 hours a week plus a part-time job. Both jobs, neither one of them had benefits. I was going to the grocery store stealing over-the-counter medicine. I was stealing over-the-counter medicine, pouring it into a bottle to take home for my children.
Wow.
And that's what I get so frustrated, because when these men talk like that, there are single mothers out here having to do that, and they act like they don't care. And that's what makes me so angry. In 2023, there are the working poor working 40 hours a week.
And they say give the kids to the dads, like,
and they ain't gonna do it. They're not going to do it, because I'm telling you, it's hard. That man is not willing to give up going out to the club, hanging out in the street. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, remember when we one of the first conversations we had before we start tapping in behind closed doors back on KWK was I remember you telling them how you used to have to be outside twirling a sign on the street and stuff, take care of your kids.
About it.
And they laughed at you. I never forget that they dragged you.
That was my job. The sandwich board. Yes.
And they was like, no, I'd rather be on YouTube. I can't. I'd rather not take care of my kid and be outside. And you was like, y'all bums.
But YouTube wasn't my
That's a hard-working man. That's a man that gets it done. Like, men back in the day, I feel like they was out mowing lawns and painting houses and fixing up things. They had like different hustles. Now, I feel like it's so easy to get online and bash Black women and make some money. It's so easy to get online and talk about single mothers. Like being a single mother, like, is a badge of honor. Like, you act like women are walking around saying, I'm so happy that this relationship didn't work out. I'm so happy that I created a family with a man that, whatever the situation is, or whatever happened within that situation. I don't think it's too majority of the women who end up becoming single mothers plan to be it. Like, did they make the best decisions? No, but they only knew what they knew. They only knew what they knew. And I'm not excusing it. But one thing that I am going to do, I do believe in marriage. I still do believe in marriage. I still push for it. If I got to be the lesson, let me be the lesson. At least when I tell you don't become a single mom, it's coming from a personal, it's not coming from a hierarchy thing. Like, oh, I'm better than you because I never did that. Or I'm better than you because now I got the ring. Like, I'm not coming from that standpoint. I'm coming from a very modern, understanding, realistic standpoint. And I'm trying to teach them things because I was very hard-headed. I was very, very, very hard headed. I wouldn't listen to nobody. And I don't know why I was so hard headed. So I'm like, well, there's girls out there that's just as hard headed as me. And I don't want them to go down the same path that I went down. So therefore, like, let me be God's example
But
and
be
speak
telling
to them.
the
Thank you,
beauty of it
Daryl.
is the beauty of it is when you sit there and I just listen to everything you said, and it's like, but I'm always every time I keep coming back to the space, I'm like, men, we are just as problematic. I'm on my third marriage, literally.
I say the same thing
So,
too, Rico.
and I'm just
I
trying to
got four
tell
kids, three
you,
women. We not perfect either.
I
Like
literally want women to understand that men, we are just, I'm a black man. I'm on my third and my last. I ain't doing it again. I told my wife, you're going to have to kill me to get rid of me. But literally, I'm like, so when men, I listen to these men in these spaces talk from a place of perfectionist, and I know from my experience, men, especially black men, we are very far from being perfect. Very,
Yeah.
I have 5 grown adult sons. I love them all dearly. They ain't nobody's idea of perfection because they ain't my idea of perfection. So what I try to say to sisters like yourself is, yes, make yourself the best version of yourself, but don't try to push yourself to an unrealistic ideal
Mm,
of a man who hasn't reached that ideal himself.
right. I
If
want to
he,
talk about, oh, sorry.
that's the problem. No, that's the problem. Is I see these guys saying you got to be A, B, C, and D, and he ain't even did A. I'm like,
Yeah.
sit down and shut up. That's my issue.
So Tracy, I think it's Tracy, said, and sometimes it's better to leave a toxic situation and be a single mom than deal with BS. Like, let me tell you something about that. That is so true. A lot of these men don't understand what like men want peace, right? That's big for y'all, but we also want peace too. And y'all think just having peace is us being quiet. But if you're suffering in silence, you're suffering for so long, it's better to let go of that situation and trust God that if it's meant to be, it's gonna come back together. But I think of it like a rope, right? Like you holding on to that relationship, and when you want to hold on to a rope, you tie it around your hand, right? And you pulling it, but the rope got a weight, a dead weight to it, and you pulling it and pulling it. Who's hurting more? Who's hurting more holding on to that? You or the dead weight that's hanging on to it? You end up hurting yourself in the midst of it and hurting whatever. So that's how a lot of domestic violence, a lot of murders, suicide stuff like that happens. Like people don't want to talk about that. Trace, I think it's Trace. Can you give me a thumbs up in the background so I can know that you're a real person? You don't have to be on camera the whole time, but I just need like a thumbs up. Okay, cool. Okay. And then Black's Lexicon. Okay, I can see you. I'm gonna bring y'all up.
how you
Tracy.
doing? Good evening. Good evening.
Hello. Tracy, did you want to go? Is it Tracy? I'm sorry.
It's trees. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's a little staticky, but I can hear you.
Let me take this headset off.
Okay.
Do I sound better now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I don't have my camera on. I don't
That's
look my
okay.
best. I just wanted to thank you for doing this live because I feel like I've been battling with spiritual warfare, and it's been a lot of good things happening, but a lot of bad things at the same time to make me feel like, well, forget the good things because what about all these other bad things? So all I wanted to do was just come on here and just thank you for being brave enough to come on here and speak because just a few days ago, I was crying out, like, Lord, please give me peace. Like, no matter how hard I try, no matter how good things get, there's always these bad things happening. And that's just life. But I was watching another video when your live came on, and I had clicked watch later, like I'll watch it later, but something kept tugging me like, no, go to that live. You could watch this video later. And now I see why. So that's all I wanted to just say thank you, because you really touched me. I've been struggling. I'm a single mother of 2 kids, and I had to leave a toxic situation. And I have a 12-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they have different fathers. And I've been getting so much judgment, like, oh my gosh, you have 2 baby daddies, and why didn't you just stay with him and make it work? And
Yeah.
people don't understand that, yeah, I could have stayed and make it work. And everyone, because he had kids of his own, and everyone used to call us the Brady Bunch and say we were so happy, but no one knew the mental and emotional abuse he was putting me through, and all the weight I had. And then he had 3 other kids, and it's just me and my older son, and I'm trying to take care of his kids, and it was just too much. So when I had saw a clip from you on that show, and I just saw how they were talking to you, it's just like they just make it like, oh, single moms are terrible, and I hate it so much.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. You remind me so much of myself.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I got 2 kids as well. And, like, just give yourself grace and understanding, because I'm just going to say it again. Your children are blessings. Not every
yeah,
woman, married or single, is able to have kids. I feel like, and I know this for a fact, your children choose you. They
yeah,
choose you to come here. They know who their parents is. They know how messed up their parents are. They know if their parents gonna be together or not be together. They choose you, and God paired you with them because He knew. Now you gotta also forgive yourself, because I think also I had to forgive myself, because I was so mad at myself, and I was trying to make some things work. And the more I tried to make it work, the more it just got worse and worse. So I understand where you're coming from, and needing that peace. That peace is so important, because when you're living in chaos and you're forcing it, you're not living in purpose. You're not living where He wants you to be and where He's trying to take you. Because sometimes we hinder our own blessings, and we can be blocking that person blessings, trying to hold on to stuff when God needs to probably. First of all, a man cannot lead you unless he is being led by God, my beliefs personally. So if he's not being led, and he's not following the word of God or anything, like, how is he going to lead you and your family and your kids? And
yes,
just because you leave a situation doesn't mean that it's always permanent. But if it's meant to be, best believe, have faith that it will work out. But you cannot hold on to hoping it will work out, because hope is a killer.
yes,
Hope will have you stuck. Hope will have you depressed. Hope will have you having anxiety when you hoping on the wrong things. Your focus should be, I hope we get back together. It should be, I know if what's for me is for me, and I know my children will be okay. I know that I will be okay. And you got to be delusional in your faith, because when I was going through what I was going through, and time was like ticking so fast on me, I didn't have a mustard seed to grab on. I had delusion to grab on, and I just had to believe it was going to work out. And everybody say, "Did you find a place to go? Did you find a place?" And I'm like, "Nope, but I know it's coming." I just
mm-hmm.
knew it, and I just had that faith. So thank you for sharing that story.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Black Lexicon, thank you for joining me.
Hi, BTaylor. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's a little choppy.
Is it? Okay, let me, well,
Okay, you sound good now. You sound good.
oh, I do? Oh, okay, all right. So, it is such a affirmation and a blessing to find you here doing this tonight.
Thank you.
I remember when I first came across you, I remember those things you were saying. But I looked at you and I said, that is not that person. Something else is, she's guarding something. I don't know what words to use for that, but you're here.
Yeah.
You
I am.
did
I
it.
did some crazy stuff. I have, and I think I was coming from and those spaces didn't see me in the best light, because when I tried to come from a very vulnerable standpoint, I was attacked. It was like people was playing little violins and nobody cares that your mom died. Nobody cares what you've been through. Nobody cares about your story. Nobody cares about any of that. Like, and I said, you know what? It's not meant for them to care because these people are being used for a bigger message to cause chaos and division and spread negativity. So, like, I just was not in a space to share that vulnerability because it was being used against me constantly. And once I opened up that, you know, they didn't have to know that I was a mom of two. They didn't have to know any of that. But I opened up and shared things with them. And those same people use those as those things, that trauma, whatever, as a weapon against me. And that's why I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm just in my own space now, and I'm sticking to my space and spaces with positivity and women, and you know, so I'm speaking. Oh, Daryl. Okay, thanks, Daryl. But yeah, so thank you for seeing that growth because I definitely needed that.
Oh, I mean, it hurt my feelings when I saw you. I could see you, but I was in the chat, but I knew they could not see you. So I was also going to add that from my experience within Christianity, none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not proclaiming to be. I would never be perfect until God changes this body, this flesh. But that they're not gonna chop up what you're saying tonight. They're going to throw at you. Satan's gonna throw at you all the things that you said before all of this. A lot of individuals in this audience don't know what it feels like to be touched by the Holy Spirit.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't say that and do what you did and not have been filled with the Holy Spirit. Yeah. They don't know the wonderful, the loss of that control and how beautiful it is when you are resting in God's hands.
I received that.
You know, and I can still feel how you are feeling, what you are saying.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, forget all of the underlying business per se purposes of YouTube, because I had when I first came to YouTube, to these spaces, I had no clue people were making money. I was just listening in and enjoying what was being talked about and adding to it and trying to help individuals out. And I could see a lot of the disbelief of the things that you now understand of individuals, but I'm like, God, why am I here? Why can't I let it go?
Yeah.
And seeing you tonight, it's a beautiful affirmation. Praise God.
Yes.
Praise God, because we don't have to be wretched.
Yeah.
Just to please somebody else. And don't worry. I'm not the one that's going to throw stuff at you.
Yeah.
It's going to be Satan. Now, I'm not the one. I'm definitely going to support you even more now.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You betcha. Thank you. You made my prayers tonight even more special.
Thank you.
Because I just witnessed what I believed so long. Thank God, praise God that He did this for you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Look at you, about to make me cry. Because there has been growth. I'm not going to lie. When I got pregnant with my second baby, that's where I felt like that's when a lot of things turned, because I was just so, shameful within myself and trying to explain, and people were not, those those who knew and those who were there to understand were going to understand, you know. Um, it was kind of like an embarrassment because I felt like I let a lot of people down when I did. And I understand, like, I didn't expect to be a mom of two and not married yet. Like, I believe in marriage. And I think I even got so defensive, I started to say, well, you could get married and get divorced and try to use that term in there and stuff like that. But no, marriage is beautiful when it's with the right person and when you put God first and you know you love each other genuinely and I did learn that you do have to put in the work. You do have to put in the work, but it shouldn't be I can't even find the word for it. It should be put in the work, but not to the extent of I can't even find the words to it. I can't find the words for it, but relationships are work and it's easy to break up when you bring a child in a situation. It's so easy to leave that situation because y'all don't have commitment there, you know. And I do believe that there is a covenant that God protects your relationship from certain things in prayer, but it's like that's not who God called your husband to be. He didn't tell you you're gonna make a baby with that man, you know, but he allows certain things to happen and there's lessons out of it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that man is your husband, you know. So I had to learn a lot of things the hard way, but
Well, I mean, we all have in different ways, and also that what you experience is also going to be a blessing on your children
thank you.
in their life.
Thank you.
You know, they're going to be a blessing down the road for others, and they already love you, but they love you more than that house, and even more so, you know. But you this is your show, and your testimony. You take it. I tell you, it is one of the most beautiful things I've seen here on YouTube.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I received that. I really do receive that because I was so nervous to come up here. And at first I was like, I don't even want to do it. But I said, I got to be obedient. I got to be obedient, like, and come up here and tell his blessings. And I told him, like, I told God, like, use me the way that I need to be used. And I feel like when you're out of line and you're not in purpose, that's when it's easy to get attacked left and right and all these voices and people and things telling you to end yourself and you're unworthy. Your kids are better off without you, or your kids shouldn't even be here. Like, it's just a lot of things out there that is a spiritual warfare and it's a spiritual attack. And I just know that I'm not the only one going through it. So I had to share it. But I do want to say thank you, Emma Jax. Emma Image Alex. Sorry if I'm butchering that so bad. I'm so sorry.
Can
I
I
am a
ask you?
baby.
Can I ask you a question, BTaylor?
Amal Alex.
How old is your oldest son
He
or
is.
your oldest child? I'm sorry,
He's
I don't even know
7.
if it's a boy or a girl.
Yes, he's 7. I got
Okay.
whatever. I got 2 boys. I didn't want to disclose that for
No.
the
I don't
because
want
they
to
was
know
like,
their
"Oh my God!" They found out
names.
I had boys.
No.
Like, and she thinks the way she thinks, and she got boys.
I apologize. I sincerely apologize.
No,
I
it's okay.
didn't want.
I'm
I don't
on
want to
my
know their
channel.
names. I don't want because what I'm thinking about. Because what I'm hearing is I want you to think about this. Is that when your son comes to you? Remember, I kept telling you, you're a superhero. You have to be. I'm thinking about my mother, and I was the product of a single mother. My mother was my superhero. Your son, they look to you to be their superhero. So I mean, I hear you say the things that you say about yourself, but I don't want you to demonize or beat yourself up for your choices or your decision because you're their superhero. You're your son's
Now you say that,
superpower.
I wanna show y'all what my son
No,
drew.
I don't want you to show. But
I
I
want to
want
show y'all what he drew me because he
yeah.
just
I
it's
want you
so
to believe in you the way they have to believe in you.
oh.
They look at you. You are their superhero. You have got to love yourself the way that they love you because they need you. It's what I'm trying to, that's just what I want you to hear. So that while all these outside forces are always trying to come in and beat us down, and I'm not to say that even myself, that yes, sometimes I do some things that may deserve certain criticism, but I don't give up because I know that there are others that are counting on me. And you need to remember that guess what? No matter what everybody outside of you thinks, look at your sons. That's your superpower as you are theirs.
Yeah.
You're their superhero and they are yours. Forget what everybody else is saying. Stop going to spaces that's trying to tear you down because you know your love and your joy is in them. It doesn't come from me. I'm sorry, what's the brother name? I can't see your name very well.
Black Lexicon.
Right. It doesn't come from me. It doesn't come from Black. It comes from your children, your beautiful babies that you brought into the world. And I told you, as being a single father, it's like sometimes we forget that. And I want to say, as a former single parent, I'm trying to remind you of it because I even forgot it and lost and broke some of the relationship with my children. And I regret it and it hurts. But don't lose that. I wish I had someone to tell me what I'm trying to tell you, even if I'm saying it in an inartful way. Don't forget me, forget Black. Not forget us, but you are a superhero. Your children are your superpower. You are theirs, and don't let nobody come between that. Nobody. Forget us all.
You know, I know you're going to show a picture, but there's something more since you might not have understood now, Mr. Rico, is that God became their superhero and he showed BTaylor that. And she knows that. She understands. She's a vessel, but he is the superhero. And that's a good lesson for you. We're never too old to learn, Rico. We're never too old to learn.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Rico, I will say that I am strong, but what I went through, it almost
broke you.
Broke me.
Yeah,
it did. It almost broke me because I a lot of people don't know. Like I went through a house fire a few years ago, and me and my son. What's crazy is that I was off that day, and it was a Thursday, and I got up that morning and something. I was supposed to take him to the Children's Museum, and I was like, "No, I don't want to go to the Children's Museum. I'm tired. We'll go another day." And I just felt this push inside of my chest, like, no, go to the Children's Museum. Mind you, we were staying in a 2-story home with my grandparents, and I'm usually sometime downstairs. My son is upstairs playing. You know, I just let him play in the little playroom area. But that day, I took him to the Children's Museum. And a lot of you guys don't know I work for the news. So I started getting alerts on my phone about multiple house fires. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, you know, and I didn't think nothing of it until I got a phone call from my sister screaming and crying saying the house is burning down. And I'm like, what? And then like, it just felt like somebody told me somebody died. And I called my job and they're like, oh yeah, we got chopper over this fire. And I'm like, what's the address? And they read me my address. And came to the scene, the house was gone, like just in flames, gone. And the way the fire started from the garage to the kitchen to where my son would usually go and play. And mind you, it was such a silent fire because my grandparents were at home sleeping at the time. They didn't even know that the house was on fire until a neighbor saw and started banging on the door. They were in smoke. That's how people say, well, how did somebody, you know, they was sleeping and they never woke up because some fire is silent. It's not loud. Yeah. It's silent. And when you're sleeping, you're not really, a lot of people are deep sleepers.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, if I would have been downstairs, I wouldn't have, and across the way the house was, it's a big house, I probably wouldn't have known my son was upstairs. I thank God for saving my child. And that's all I held on to because we lost everything. We lost everything, like from his clothes to my clothes. And I had to start over. And I grew to where I'm at now. And then I started to, instead of trusting God to move me to a bigger place and lean on him, because every place I've been, I went from a 1-bedroom apartment with my child to a 2-bedroom, and now I'm in a 4-bedroom. And that was by myself with God, not by myself, but like I didn't need a, I thought I needed to depend on somebody to come and rescue me when the main person, unless that's my husband, the main person I need to lean on is God. So I'm over here trying to make something happen with, that's not meant to be right now, and I had to let go of certain situations. And so now he was still able to bless me into where I'm at now. And like, I'm trying to say it without saying too much, but there's been so much growth and so much loss that has happened in my life. And it felt like a house fire all again, because when those bed bugs invade, baby, let me tell you, they take over everything. And I was like, y'all can have it. Y'all can have this couch.
Yeah.
Y'all can have this chair. Y'all can have this bed. Y'all can have my son's bed. Y'all can have all of that. I ain't taking nothing with me. I had to basically start all over. And everything that I'm getting that's new is so beautiful. Like, even when like they're beds, like I had a friend that was like, "Oh, I'm getting rid of some beds," and I didn't even need them. They never been used before. They just been sitting in her guest room, and she's like, "You want some beds?" And I'm like, "I'll run." Yeah, no, I
nope.
No. This is a trusted person.
Okay.
They never been used. She's very clean. No, she was like, "You want some twin beds?" I was like, "Yes." Took them. Like everything that I asked for and need, I just know it's coming to me, and it comes to me. So that's where I'm at, and I'm in a place of acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a place of love. I'm in a place of growth. I'm in a place of maturity, and I am seeing things a little differently. I got attacked today commenting about modesty. I'm like, you can still be sexy and be modest, like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a video about that later so y'all can see that. But I don't want to make this video too crazy long. But I really do appreciate y'all. But yes, Lotus, thank you. I was trying to find the word. I'm in a mind of abundance right now. Like, I just know I don't have no worries about anything, like nothing. I just know like it's gonna work out, even when it doesn't look like it. You just gotta be delusional and be like, nah, I know it's good. I know it's gonna work out. I know God got it. Like, I know it. Like, oh, I know it. Like, if it's a job, not particularly that job, but you know that he's going to bless you with a great job with great pay. You got some money coming to you, or you're going to get approved for a house or whatever it is. You just got to have faith and thinking of an abundance mindset that he already, you ask him and you be very specific in your prayer, because I didn't just pray for any house. I prayed for this house. And I was like, even if he said no, I just know it's going to work out. And I prayed for the landlord. I prayed for his heart. I prayed for his mind. I said, God, send the wrong people. Send the wrong people. He said he want more people to see more options. Send the wrong ones. And that's exactly what he did. So, and it's mine. It's mine. So I just wanted to share my testimony. This is episode 1 of Bubbles with BTaylor. I hope that more of y'all can join in. If you want to join my membership, I kind of do want to start a book club, and I definitely want to start like a prayer club where we can pray. And I don't have to always be the person to pray. Somebody else can pray. We can go live and talk about it. So I just wanted to be more community knit, where it's not as exposed. A lot of people don't want to share what they're going through publicly. So we can do that on my membership channel if y'all feel more comfortable doing that as well. And if you are a prayer warrior and you feel like you got the gift of doing that, please, we need you. We need you. But yeah, thank y'all so much. I don't want to make this video too long. So just wrap up our final thoughts. If y'all wanted to say anything.
I just wanted to come and say thank you for letting me up. I wanted to come up just to give you affirmation to, on the single parent store, on the single parent front. just to let you know that, hey, your children love you, you love your children. Lean into that and don't feel any kind of particular way about your circumstance, no matter how people try to make you feel.
Yes.
You deserve everything that's coming to you, and don't validate spaces that are not for your growth or for the betterment or positivity of you. That was all my message was. I like your message. I will continue to rock with you. I like, with what I've heard you saying, and you grow, and I've seen you treated unfairly in some spaces. And I'm just here to say, hey, look, as an older Black man, hey, you have a good message that will resonate with the community. Continue to spread your message. It's being well received even by an old, salty, crusty person like me. So if I can receive it, it's well received. And thank you and blessings to you and your subscribers. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make it super quick, B. God was right about you. And this is a total affirmation that he was. I was also going to mention that one of your friends that was on the panels with you also has a good heart like yours, but she prefers.
Sheba?
That's not who I'm speaking
of. Oh, okay.
I mean, not that she doesn't, but someone who is in a similar place as you are at this point as a woman in your life. She may not be struggling, or maybe not. I don't think so, but she has a bigger heart than what people can actually see. Just like you. I mean, it was like, who is this person? Why am I seeing this? And I was a little bit timid to say, I put in little things to give little hints to let you know you're special,
Yeah, I was seeing you in the chat, like supporting, being so sweet. So I appreciate you.
Yeah. But hey, God has spoken. Thank you so much. You gosh, I got some talking to do with him tonight to thank him myself for
yes.
this happening. Praise God for this. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good night, and God bless you as well.
You too.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. I feel like episode 1 was very successful. I really hope this really helped somebody. And if you made it all the way through, please comment below after. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. There's going to be more to come. I'm thinking June 5th. I have a great subject that I want to talk about. And we're going to always bring up people towards the end. So please give it a thumbs up, and to push me into the algorithm, just comment something encouraging, something that you want to share with other people who are silently watching in the background but needed this message. But thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for being a part of listening to my testimony. And I appreciate you guys, and have a good one and have a beautiful week. Thank you guys. It is BTaylor, Bubbles with BTaylor. All right. Bye.